Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about, can pregnancy mess up your thyroid? I'm excited to talk to you about this topic today because it is one that is important and one that can affect anyone. So if you hang around until the end of this video, you will know exactly how pregnancy can affect your thyroid. You'll understand overactive and underactive thyroid disorders. You'll know how to screen for thyroid issues. You'll know how pregnancy can completely affect your thyroid, and best yet, you'll learn exactly what you can do to help your thyroid during and after pregnancy. So hang around and we have lots of good things to talk about. This is a gland that is so powerful, but I believe that we don't give it enough time and attention. And that's because we think of our heart, we think of our lungs, we think of our kidneys, but nobody talks about the thyroid when it is actually behind how your body functions and changes from day to day, and is super, super important. So let's first talk about, where is the thyroid gland? Do you know? If you don't, I'm about to tell you. Your thyroid is actually in your neck. I know, you're just like, I can't see it, but it is there. It is actually quite thin. It is like a butterfly that is right here in your neck. Because we're visual people, or at least I am, here's a model to help you see what the thyroid looks like. Now, this is way bigger than your thyroid is, okay? This is just for visual purposes, okay? So your thyroid sits in your neck, something like this. It is quite thin, and unless it is enlarged, unless you have like a mass in it, you really can't physically touch it when you touch your neck, but it is there and it is working, all right? So what does our thyroid organ do? Well, let's start with metabolism. Your metabolism is a process of your body being able to burn and use calories for energy. So when you eat a bowl of cereal for breakfast, your body processes that cereal and breaks it down into tiny, tiny little parts in fats, carbs, and protein in order for your organs to use them. Now, your thyroid then allows your body to use the calories you ate and turn it into energy so that you can move, you can exercise, you can breathe, you can do all the things that your body needs to do to keep you alive. Now, if you gain weight easily, sometimes it's because of your thyroid. If you are unable to maintain your weight and you have to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, that could be your thyroid as well, because that is all wrapped up in metabolism. Your thyroid is also responsible for your growth. And this is from a little tiny person to an adult. Your thyroid has everything to do with how your size, essentially, your body size, how tall you are, how big you are. And so, can you adjust your thyroid to make you taller? Not necessarily, but if there's a problem with your thyroid, it can inhibit or slow down or prevent your body from being where it was actually intended to be. Your thyroid is also behind all of this with your bone and muscles and nerves and cartilage and every single aspect of your body. So did I say that your thyroid was important? Yeah, it is. All right. So now let's dive in a little bit deeper. When we think of pregnancy, we know that the thyroid gland is important not only for mom, but for baby as well. Whenever you get pregnant, our bodies produce a lot of excess hormones, especially estrogen. Estrogen is very active on your thyroid. And so when your estrogen gets really, really high, your thyroid can be overactive because the estrogen is stimulating your thyroid quite a bit. The second thing that happens in pregnancy that affects your thyroid is that the pregnancy hormone, the HCG hormone, this is the hormone that you test on your pregnancy test that says, yes, I'm pregnant. Or we check by blood to do the same. That hormone also stimulates your thyroid. And it does so because that hormone is very similar molecularly to the inherent hormones of the thyroid. And so, in a way, your thyroid gets overstimulated because it thinks it's a normal hormone, but it's really pregnancy hormone. And so overall, the activity of your thyroid just becomes so much more active during all pregnancies. So some women during pregnancy may have a worsening of their thyroid conditions, or they may develop a new thyroid problem based on all of these hormonal changes that occur naturally in pregnancy. One condition is called hypothyroidism. Hypo means low. So it means that your thyroid is underactive and not doing as much as it needs to, or as much as your body needs. Another is hyperthyroidism. This is where, if you can imagine, hyper means more. Your thyroid is too active, it's doing too much. And so with both of these, it could be a juggle with your thyroid, and it can cause some internal problems with that. If you do have a thyroid condition that has not been diagnosed, then this can lead to a lot of pregnancy complications, such as preterm labor, preterm delivery. Babies might not be the full weight that we expect it to be. Babies can be underweight. We also know that whenever a person has underactive or overactive thyroid issues, they may also postpartum have issues such as postpartum hemorrhage. You may have issues with hypertension. You may have issues having to do with the full recovery that's needed in a postpartum state. Another condition that is very pertinent to what we're talking about today is postpartum thyroiditis. This is a condition that actually affects 8% of pregnant women. These are people who had no underlying thyroid issue, and this develops because of the pregnancy. So our question is, can pregnancy mess up your thyroid? The answer is yes, and specifically when it comes to this postpartum thyroiditis. Now, with this condition, we still do not have enough answers as to why they occur or what to do to prevent it from happening. But we do know that it is based on our hormones. And we also know that the condition may start with hypothyroidism where it's low, and then it may become high with hyperthyroidism, or vice versa. And so there isn't a real clear clinical picture of what happens with this, but we know it does occur, and about 50% of women may not recover from it. So you may have a permanent thyroid disorder because of this thyroid issue that began with pregnancy. How do you get tested? Well, a simple blood test. That is all that's needed, and your doctors can do this. Now know that even though this is a simple blood test, and we know that many women can be affected by it, it is not a test that is routinely done in pregnancy. Unless you have an underlying thyroid issue, oftentimes we don't routinely check. And so if you have concerns, if you have a family history of thyroid issues, if you've had a previous issue with thyroid, or you may be gaining too much weight or not enough weight, you may want to have that conversation with your provider, asking them if thyroid testing might be necessary for you. So what can you do? If you do have an underlying thyroid issue, or you developed this postpartum thyroiditis, well, I can tell you, you can do plenty. First thing is to know what the recommended iodine, which is what thyroid needs. You should target and aim to have the appropriate amount of iodine in your diet. This is regardless of whether or not you have an underlying thyroid issue. It is recommended to have between 220 and 250 micrograms of iodine each day. This can be through your diet, making sure that you have enough seafood, like fish in your diet, but it also could be from your prenatal vitamin. And so prenatal vitamins are really, really, truly important because it is very hard as people for us to get all of the micronutrients that are necessary for our organs to function well from our diet, and from our diet every day. So taking those prenatal vitamins will actually put you well ahead and keep your thyroid happy, because you'll naturally get the iodine amounts that you need to sustain your pregnancy and sustain your body. Now, considering that we can have thyroid issues that may develop at the end of pregnancy or during your postpartum period, I would also recommend that you speak with your provider, especially in that postpartum period, and ask them, how can I make sure and do everything that I can to help my body function at its best and be sure that my thyroid is happy and well, It's all in a conversation, and we want you to advocate for yourself. So listen, because you're still here, you've listened and you've watched all the way through, so I know you are trying to learn more about your body and your health. I have a tremendous value for you. I have a program, a mastermind that helps you to balance your hormones and to make things all intact if you feel like they're out of whack. And so, this program is heavily discounted at the link below this video just for you. If you're interested, go ahead and check it out. And if you just want to have a conversation, leave a comment, or learn more through the community here, please feel free to leave a comment below and we will respond and see you. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you at the next video. I'm Dr. Perkins. Take care.